Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to get started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar video for you, and today we're going to be looking at Cities of Sigmar once again, and today we're going to be looking at the free city of Excelsis. In this video, we're going to go over exactly what we get with the Cities of Sigmar Excelsis Subfaction Army, what it does on the tabletop and how we can use it, and then we're going to look at units we can grab to start our army, and then later, units we can use to expand upon our army. And finally, at the end of the video, we will give you a little sample army list that you can use to start up your own force, either just copy ours, or indeed use it as inspiration to start and make your own decisions on your own force. So with that all said and out of the way, let's talk Cities of Sigmar and what exactly do we get with an Excelsis subfaction army of it. And so to start with, obviously, Cities of Sigmar, so we're going to get all of those Cities of Sigmar rules. We're going to have things like Honoured Retinue, Sworn Protectors, General's Adjutant, and also our Stormkeep. So we're going to get all of that. We're going to be able to have our General that's going to be able to have a bodyguard if they are 5 wounds or less. If they're those smaller characters, they're going to be able to get a bodyguard. We're also going to be able to have our General's Adjutant as another small character next to our General to generate command points, and we're going to be able to bring in some Stormcast Coalition units to the army as well. Now, Excelsis, the subfaction, what does this give us? Well, first of all, we have to be from the realm of Gur. Many of the Cities of Sigmar are from, and this, isn't a thing to worry about in anything but narrative play. But we do get the gift of prophecy, and this is sort of a risk and reward style thing. We can pick one unit per phase to shoot or fight, and you roll a dice. On a 1, you are -1 to hit. However, on a 2 to 6, you're +1 to hit. So there's that risk and reward, and this is pretty cool because you can use it on a unit you don't matter. Use it on that secondary unit. If you need something to have +1 to hit, you spend the command point. But this can be on a second unit that you want to get +1 to hit as well without having to spend the command point. That's when I really feel you use this. You rarely want to have this as your one that you're needing, but it is also there to roll a 2 up on a time when maybe you don't have a command point to get +1 to hit. It can be really useful in those situations as well. The other cool thing we get with Excelsis is we get some splashback damage in the form of a command ability called Riposte. So Riposte is a command ability, use it at the start of the combat phase, and if you do so, you pick a friendly Excelsis unit, hold within 12 inch of a friendly Excelsis hero. If the unmodified save roll for that unit is a 6 for any attacks that get them, you do a mortal wound back to your opponents. So some nice mortal wound splashback damage. This of course means it works really well on units with a higher armor save, so units that aren't going to be failing many saves, because you want to be able to take a lot of saves. So that's definitely something we're going to look into when we start looking at units, and let's go have a look at what we suggest to grab first. And so I think there's really 2 ways to do this, where with our core units we're looking for a 3-up save unit really, because we're wanting to get those best saves on the table. And so you've got 2 ways you can go down this. If you're much more into the humans and the Free Guild side of it, you could definitely pick up a Free Guild General on Griffin. He's got a 4-up save base, give him a shield, and this means he now has a 3-up save. However, he can't get any better than that because it is still currently +1 to save with the shield. But the Griffin is really solid in combat. He's got a cool command ability. He can give out +1 again with his own command ability, plus some other things. So you're being able to get a ton of bonus +1s to hit across your army in combat, which is really, really nice. And also, he puts out a minus bravery aura, and just some other nice things as well. A solid character. The unit to go alongside him then is Demigryph Knights. Now, Demigryph Knights come in 3 model units. They have 4 wounds apiece and a base 3-up save. This means they can get to that all-important 2-up save, meaning that they are just going to be able to shrug off a ton of damage, and with Riposte, hopefully be able to do a ton of damage back to our opponents as we can sort of spike and roll those 6s. Just hope you don't spike the other way and roll lots of 1s. On the opposite side, if you're more into elves, you could definitely go with a Dreadnought on a Black Dragon, much the same as the Free Guild General on Griffin. He's got a 4-up base save, but give the shield, and it gets +1 to its save, and like the Griffin, this is a plus, not a characteristic change, so he can never go to a 2-up. However, his command ability is a +1 to wound aura, which is amazing, and this combines really well with Drakespawn Knights, who, once again, like Demigryph Knights, are a 3-up save. Now, the difference between this is Demigryph Knights are 175 points currently, and you get 3 models for that, so you're going to get 12 wounds. You get less wounds in Drakespawn Knights, but they are 50 points at the current point in time cheaper than Demigryph Knights. So you're only getting an extra 2 wounds for 50 more points, which is almost a 50% increase in points. So I do feel that Drakespawn Knights, personally, are the better of the 2 options. But you've got 2 options here in case you're not much of an elf fan. If you like humans better, go for them. With that all said though, let's look at how we can expand upon these 2 units. And so, how do we expand upon these 2 units? Well, the first thing to note is, with the bonus +1 to hit, this just makes our best units in the army even better. So, I'm going to talk about Iron Drakes first. These are a fantastic shooting unit. You can buff them up with a Rune Lord to get -2 rend on them. And they do have a decent save, but being able to give them +1 to hit, meaning they're hitting on 2s, combine this with the potential to get a Triumph for +1 to wound once per game. They can be 2s and 2s with 2 shots each at rend 2, damage 1. This is a pretty solid unit all around. You've got some great ways to buff this unit up. And like I said, they're also not too shabby defensively. They've got some good save and defensive benefits to them as well. So you can definitely use that. And especially if we are talking about grabbing a Rune Lord, that's a priest. So you can easily put a 6-up ward on them if needed to with Bless. Phoenix Guard are another unit that's great with Excelsis just because they are a good unit regardless. The great thing about Phoenix Guard is while they only have a 4-up save, they do have a 4-up ward save base after that as well, so you can boost them up to that 3-up save, fail some, and then potentially save half your fails anyway, so they're really good at taking a beating, meaning Riposte works really well on them. Of course, you can't use both Riposte and all that defense in the same thing, but something like a Mystic Shield from a Wizard could work really well on your Phoenix Guard to allow them to riposte later. So you've definitely got some cool play around there. Not only that, but Phoenix Guard can then turn into an offensive unit as well, using the Gift of Prophecy to get +1 to hit, and the command ability to get +1 to wound as well from their Anointed, which is really nice. So they've got some ways to sort of switch up how you're playing defensively or offensively with your Phoenix Guard. Now, talking about other units, Steam Tank Commander is another one, much like the Dreadlord and Black Dragon and the Frigate General. He's just a solid character. However, he has a 3-up save base, so this means he can get to that all-important 2-up. Being able to try and find a way to get a ward on this, whether it is with an Amulet of Destiny for a 6-up ward, having a Luminarch nearby, or potentially having a Priest with Bless, being able to get a ward on this is really solid, and he's got a decent amount of wounds, can self-heal twice if he's not in combat, because he can use heroic healing and his own inbuilt healing as well. So a really great unit to have Riposte put on because he is a friendly Excelsis unit. He can use it on himself. So pretty solid there. Lastly, Vindictors. Now you can bring in Stormcast Eternals unit, and Vindictors, much the same reason we've chosen a lot of other units. They've got a 3-up base save. They do mortal wounds on the hit roll. They have really good 3s to hit and wound. Reach 2 means you can take them in larger units, which is nice. So another just solid unit to take for your Excelsis City Force with those base sort of statistics that just get even better in a city that really does make your best unit even better. With all of that said though, we're going to go look at a little sample army list we put together to show you how this can all be put into practice with a little fun sample army list. And so here we have a little sample Excelsis army list for you all. Of course, we're from Gert, Cities of Sigmar, Excelsis. Makes sense, that's what the video's about. Now, we've gone for the grand strategy, hold the line, as we do think we've got a couple of decent, though, you know, there are some ways you can play around with this. I mean, that Dreadlord and Black Dragon is going to be harder to remove, so you've got some options in how you want to play this with your grand strategy, I think. Triumphs, we've gone for Inspired, +1 to wound is really solid. Now, I know we've got the Dreadlord and our Drakespawn are going to get +1 to wound really easy with a command ability, but being able to put this on our other units is great, or not have to spend a command ability point for the Dreadlord. Now, so Dreadlord and Black Dragon, he's going to be our general, going to have the Lancer Spike and Tyrant Shield, which is the Lancer Spike gets bonuses when it charges, and the reason we've gone for this is he will never get stuck in protracted combats. So we've gone for the Cunning Foe command trait on him and making him our general. He can retreat and still charge, which is just amazing. And if he does so, until the end of the turn, you add 1 to hit rolls made for attacks by him and subtract 1 for attacks against him. So just a really, really solid ability there. Artifact, I've actually gone for the Rockjaws. Now, this just does D3 mortal wounds to one enemy unit within 8 inch. However, combine this with the mount trait Photed Breath, which turns his breath weapon, which is a 6-inch range. Every model in range, you roll a dice on a 6. Photo breath now makes that a 5+ to do a mortal wound to them. You can do, D3 plus however many you roll is pretty nice. For a good set of mortal wound output, it can really help him deal with hordes, which is probably where he's going to struggle. And then we've gone for a Rune Lord with the Universal Prayer Curse, though he's likely always going to be using his War Scroll +1 Rend Prayer, or Bless. Battle line, 2 units of 5 Drakespawn Knights are our battle line unit. These are going to really hold our line. And then we've got a unit of 20 Iron Drakes in there that are just going to be our absolute hammer. Being able to, hopefully, against one of our opponent's best units at 1,000 points, just get +1 a hit that turn, use the Gift of Prophecy, and then also use our Triumph, +1 a hit, +1 a wound, and just absolutely blow something off the table. A really strong shooting unit that our Dreadlord and our Drakespawn Knights are going to really try to protect and get it to where it needs to be. The whole army here is wrapped up in a battle regiment, meaning it's a 1-drop army, and we're at 965, which means there is a good chance we are going to get that Triumph. And 1 reinforced unit, no allies. 59 wounds is pretty light, but there are a lot of heavily armoured wounds in this army, and as mentioned, a 1-drop. If you've been playing with Excelsis in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, let us know how you've been going and what you've been doing with it. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and turn those bell notifications on so you don't miss a beat when we upload new stuff to the channel. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by helping support the channel on Patreon or YouTube members. This allows us to continue to make new content for the channel, exploring other game systems outside of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, like we have started to with things like Elder Scrolls: A Call to Arms and Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings and Warhammer 40,000, and it helps us just continue to make more Age of Sigmar content as well. Thank you to, though, everyone who has helped support, and we'd like to give them all a shout out to our patrons. First of all, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Samuel. And to our YouTube members as well, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny Lockloric, The Johnny 84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Sean Scott, and Diplomat. And a special thank you, of course, to, first of all, Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel you see here, and to Xmorphic, who does all the awesome background work on our Discord server, keeping that nice and running properly for us all. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against Grey. Ciao for now.